I'm Nancy.
And I'm Gina.
And we're in the Vintage Cake.
Yes, welcome to our virtual kitchen. My name is Gina Roselli again, and I am a Rutgers alumni. I was also on the gymnastics team at Rutgers of the class of 2006. I was a nutrition major, and then I went off to culinary school.
And I am Nancy Lee, and I also went to Rutgers, and I graduated 2007, psychology. And then I also went to culinary school, and then Gina and I met in the field, and we decided to open a cake shop.
Yeah. So typically, we've done some alumni on location events where alumni would come to our bake shop, and we would bake, and actually we would drink as well. It was called Sip and Bake. It was a lot of fun. People would bring their wine or any beverage that they like, and we would bake and have a great time. So in that spirit, we decided to do that as well. So we just like to say,
coronavirus time. Everybody needs a little pick-me-up.
A little fun. So hopefully this will be fun for you. This is not necessary, but why
it's a little bonus.
Why not? Cheers. So cheers to you. Cheers to everybody that's been affected, and hopefully, we'll get through this and stronger and healthy. So
here we go.
Cheers to you.
Okay.
It's delicious. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do a rundown of everything that you might need. Today we're gonna be making the salted caramel Jack Daniel's brownies. Now, we love this recipe because it has like a little bit of a kick of the Jack Daniel's, but at the end, it's delicious.
Still safe for kids.
Yes, still safe for kids. And if you'd like to omit it, I guess you can. But we think it's great with it. So first, there's a component to the brownies. It's called the chewy caramel that we put on top before we put it in the oven. So that's actually the first thing that you're going to make before you jump right into the brownies. But first, we're going to show you kind of what we do in our kitchen to prepare for any baked good that we make. It's called good mise en place. So we want to just go around for your chewy caramel items that you'll need, and your brownie components that you'll need. So first, I'll go with the chewy caramel. You're going to need, a small pot. You're going to need a spatula. You're going to need a whisk. You're also going to need a tool to scrape some of the ingredients out. So first, you have your recipe in front of you. Everyone should have that. And you're going to have all your ingredients scaled out already. So it's already done, and you can just kind of move right into each step of the recipe.
And that is called mise en place.
That is called mise en place. You learn this in culinary school, kind of in the field. It just means everything is in its place so you can get started and have fun baking.
And now for brownies, what you're also going to need, we'll go from this side over. You're going to need, obviously, a cute little oven mitt. You're going to need your chocolate in a safe bowl that is going to be put on a bain-marie. So this, double boiler, bain-marie, whatever you want to call it, we're going to put the chocolate on there and melt it with the butter. So you're going to need a little bit of water in your pot. Not much, maybe like 2 inches, less than 2 inches. And a safe bowl to be heated.
So it could be a glass bowl as well, just not plastic that's going to melt.
Stay away from plastic. Then you're going to need a bigger bowl and a whisk to put the melted chocolate and butter in. Then you're going to need, we scaled out all the dry ingredients together, 3 cups with the baking powder and the salt. Your eggs are scaled out, your Jack Daniel's is scaled out, your sugar is scaled out, and your vanilla is scaled out. If you want to, you can make this in a small KitchenAid mixer, but everything can really be done by hand in a regular bowl. So if you don't have one, that's fine.
I know we moved kind of fast, but I think...
oh, forgot one thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Pan.
Yeah.
So this is the pan we're going to use. It's a half-sheet pan with parchment, but if you don't have parchment, that's okay. Just use a non-stick baking spray. If you don't have this, good old-fashioned butter and flour your pan.
Yep. And the size that we have, it's approximately 12 by 16, and it's not inches.
You don't need all these brownies.
This recipe can also get put into like a standard, you know, if you ever bought brownie mix, that pan is a 9 by 13 inch pan. That's fine as well.
It'll be a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
It might take a little bit longer to cook.
Mm-hmm. Really, you can bake this in anything.
Very easy.
You know, if you have a cake pan at home, or you'll see how much batter you have left, and maybe then you could just decide that as well.
And same thing for an offset spatula to spread it. If you don't have one of these, you can just use your regular spatula. That's fine as well.
Yeah. So I think
You're ready.
we are ready to go. So I'm going to run down the steps for your chewy caramel. And then at the same time, you're also going to be melting your chocolate and your butter. You know, we're trying to get, you know, you multitask a little bit.
If you're by yourself, take your time.
Yeah,
if you have two people, you can work together.
Exactly. So I'm going to go through the ingredients for the chewy caramel. We have 1 cup of sugar, which I already put into my dry, small little pot. And then you'll also need a 1/4 cup of light corn syrup. If you have glucose, you can use that as well, which is a little bit more stable. This is what makes your caramel chewy. And then you'll also need 1 stick of butter, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then you'll need 1 cup of heavy cream. Your heavy cream, it's important that it's not cold. You want this to be at room temperature. If you take it out of the, you know, you want to get started, you can also pop this in the microwave, just so it's not cold. You want it to be room temperature. So the reason for that is that we're making a really hot caramel, and then when you throw in something cold, it's gonna go crazy. So we want everything to be at room temperature. So the first thing you're gonna do is put your heat on. We have this at kind of like a medium heat. Depends on your stove. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to this. You don't want to walk away and, you know, maybe start scaling out something else. You don't want to do that. You want to spend all your attention on this caramel.
But if you have a second person behind you with nothing to do,
there you go.
I have started our water to heat up, which it's already pretty hot, so hopefully it won't take too long. And I'm going to put our bowl of chocolate on here.
Mm-hmm.
Once that gets melted a little bit, I'm going to add the 12 ounces, or what is that? Yeah, 12 ounces of butter so that it all melts together. And I'm just going to slowly stir it until it's homogeneous.
Yeah. So now I'm going to work on the chewy caramel again. So while our chocolate is melting with the butter, I'm going to show you. It's still nothing much is happening right now. You got to give it a second. You have a lot of little crystals of sugar. You want them to melt evenly, but also not stay in one spot, so then they'll burn. So you got to pay attention every couple, you know, maybe every 30 seconds. You're going to take a look, use your spatula, and kind of just move the sugar around just a little bit. So again, this is at, you know, not too high of a heat, I would say a medium heat. So also, to your sugar, you're going to add your light corn syrup or your glucose. So again, I told you earlier, a little tool so you can scrape. This kind of just makes everything a little bit easier. So everything's ready for you. You're not making a huge mess. So I have my glucose and my sugar. I'm going to move this around. You'll see it's a little sticky. It's been hot. So, you know, still no caramel happening yet. Now, my sugar and the glucose or light corn syrup, it's all mixed together. Now it looks like wet sand. Putting it back on the heat. So now it's important not to keep moving it. You want it to melt kind of gradually. Now there's no like dry spots of sugar in there right now. So they're not gonna, it's not gonna burn in one spot. The glucose kind of helps, keep it a little bit wet, so it doesn't burn. So again, you take a look at it. You're gonna let this sit.
One thing, if you've never used a bain-marie or a double boiler, be really careful once the water starts to boil, because if you pick this up with just your hands and the steam comes up, you could really hurt yourself. Steam burns are no joke.
Yes.
So it's good to have like a dry rag somewhere so you can hold it. It also gets really hot too. So you can hold it, bring it off, move it safely to stir it if you need to.
Okay. And now I'm just going to lower it just a little bit. Still pretty liquidy. Not caramel.
In there.
Yep.
That's a good color.
So you want it to be, oh boy. All right. So then we're back. Fire alarm
everyone. Not a big deal.
So the reason why
Don't
that's
panic.
happening, the reason why that's happening is because we're getting a caramel working. Oh, and we're back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I just want to show you, if you can, the color of the caramel. Ooh, that's hot. Hold on. Oh, it's really hard. You can't see it. It's like an amber color. There we go. It's like a dark honey color. Okay. Now, we're ready to deglaze the pan. So on low heat, with our spatula on, with our oven mitt on, we're going to deglaze the pan with our room temperature heavy cream and our butter and salt.
And your assistant waving
Sorry.
fire alarm.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to slowly pour in my heavy cream, and now I move to a whisk. Now it's going to be bubbling really high. You got to keep on whisking. And add in your butter. It's 1 stick of butter and your half teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to stir. Stir, stir, stir. Now remember, this is really hot. You got to be super careful. At this point, you can even turn off the heat. Just keep on moving until the butter has completely melted into your caramel. I just want to move on over so you can see. The reason why you do this first, because you want the caramel to cool before you put it over your brownie batter. It doesn't have to cool completely, but you don't want it scorching hot. It's just going to then spread all over your brownie mix, and it's not going to work. So here is your final caramel. See that rich caramel color? Yummy. You're going to pour it into a separate bowl so it'll cool faster. Again, your bowl is going to be hot, so make sure you're using your oven mitt. Again, I just want to show you your caramel. So it's pretty loose. That's why you want it to cool before you put it over your brownies.
Perfect.
I'm going to just move it over to the side.
And this chocolate is almost completely melted. I've turned off the water, the heat on the water, because it doesn't need to keep going. The residual heat will take it the rest of the way.
You don't want the water to bubble, you know, almost boil over. You don't want that. So you can, as long as it's, you know, steaming, it can be like a really, really low simmer.
Okay, so we're gonna let this finish melting.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll probably have some time to clean up a little bit, or if you're like us, we got some cleaning fairies.
Yay!
I mean, that was crazy. That was crazy. Good thing we have those fairies around.
Yeah.
Good thing.
All right, we are all set to start our brownies. So our chocolate is now melted with our butter. Nice and smooth.
No chunks of butter in there or anything like that.
Okay. We're going to pour it into
a bigger bowl.
Bigger bowl, because everything's going to go in this bowl, so you need it to be able to hold all these ingredients.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to make a mess. And then you're going to switch to a whisk.
It's not one,
Yes.
Okay. We're all set. Next is slowly add the sugar, vanilla, and Jack Daniels. I'm just going to combine those. That's fine.
Yeah. And if you were going to do this in a KitchenAid mixer, you would put this chocolate into your KitchenAid bowl with a paddle attachment. It pretty much mimics your spatula or whisk. I mean, you could also use the whisk attachment too, but either one. Yeah, sure. So now you could have another family member help you out. Hopefully everyone's doing this together. Perfect. And then our Jack Daniels and our vanilla. This might seem like a lot of Jack Daniels, but really, you want it to taste, you know, you want to taste it after it bakes.
It goes very well with brownies.
Yes.
Other bourbons are okay, but Jack really has the sweetness that you want.
So you can see how Nancy is kind of starting from the center and letting the liquidy Jack Daniels and vanilla extract kind of mix in slowly. You want to do this in parts because you want everything to be homogeneous, and also you don't want to make a mess.
It's also good if your Jack is not too cold so that you don't seize up your chocolate that's melted.
Yep, you want it to be room temperature, all your ingredients. And if you were doing this in your KitchenAid, you want it to be on, you know, low speed. Because again, you don't want to make a mess. And you would be adding your wet ingredients slowly as the machine is doing the work for you. Nancy is doing all the work.
I am almost sweating because it's hot in here.
There you go. Teamwork makes the
dream work.
All
The
right.
last of it.
So pretty much for any recipe, if you're adding things gradually, do it in thirds. I think it's just a good way to not, you know,
Get chunks or clumps. Or... All right, it's looking really good and smooth. Just takes a little bit more to get all the liquid incorporated. That liquid is also helping dissolve the sugar that you just added to. Very
Next,
pretty.
you're going to add your eggs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 eggs, which is approximately 300 grams. We're going to just add these in. And this is why you want to use your whisk.
I'm going to try to break up these yolks.
And yeah.
sweating, you're not doing it right.
All right, so now we have our dry ingredients. We have our all-purpose flour, our kosher salt, and our baking powder.
Yummy.
So this is why, we wanted to move into a bigger bowl. You can see that it's pretty much going to double in volume.
Okay.
So we're going to add this again, maybe in thirds, just so you don't make a mess. And again, this is why you want everything scaled out ahead of time. So it's just easier. So it's just easier as you're going step by step. Okay. So now I'll just show you how we're gonna prep our pan. So again, I have a half sheet tray. At home, you can use whatever you have on hand. I'm gonna spray it first with some hand spray. I'm going to add my parchment paper. The pan spray actually just kind of seals my paper down.
So that when you're spreading your batter, you don't pick it up or move it or anything.
Exactly. I would spray more of this if I didn't have a parchment paper. I just didn't want it to stick later.
Okay. And then the caramel. This is why we had you make it first. You might even want to make it a day before because it takes a while to cool. So we just had some that we had made already, so we're using that instead.
So see how much thicker? Here, I'll give you a little close-up. Now that
is some
is a yummy caramel. This is the
probably
color.
Have extras for ice cream toppings or
that'd be good.
Put it in your coffee.
Yeah, delicious. Let's say you don't want to be as ambitious as us and make the caramel. You could certainly buy it. Store-bought's fine. But a lot of people aren't going to the store, so we're trying to do this for whatever you have on hand. And also, why not be ambitious? Give it a try.
Okay, so our batter is done. Got everything in there.
Now, we're going to spread it.
Now we're going to spread it, and I'm going to use a regular spatula. And it's pretty thin, so it actually will spread itself, which is nice.
You want to get every drop of that batter in there.
Should be showing my scraping techniques too. Hard to tell, but you want to get every little bit. I want to leave a single brownie in the bowl.
Yeah. So again, whatever pans you have at home, you might have 2 smaller sized sheet trays, or whatever you bake your normal box mix brownie in, you might need 2 of those. There's nothing wrong with a little extra batter. Okay. You can even put these in cupcakes if you wanted to.
Not even needed.
Yeah, not even needed. So
we don't have to get it dirty.
And also, by the way, the oven should have been preheated at 325 this whole time. Yes. Just so that you're ready to go right into the oven.
Cheers.
Oh yeah,
brownies are almost done. Time for a little break
or refill. That's fun.
Woo. Okay. Next is the caramel.
Yep.
So you can use maybe like half the caramel now, because once they're baked, I like to throw a little more on top.
Yep.
But we're gonna bake some of the caramel into the brownie right now.
Yeah. So really have fun with it. Drizzle as much or as little as you want. All on there. Might want to have some big chunks somewhere else. There's no wrong or right way of doing this.
Up to you.
Yeah.
And once they're baked, you can do the same thing. Drizzle it all on there and go to town.
All right.
And we're going to add a tiny bit of sea salt. Sometimes I like to wait until they're baked to add this.
Yep.
But you can add some now if you want.
Just a little sprinkle on top. It's a nice, it's for texture and also flavor. Salt and caramel, perfect together. And, oh, beautiful, beautiful. Bam!
Bam! And we're done!
All right, so here are your
Throw it in
brownies.
the oven, 325 for until they're done.
Until they're done. That's what everyone asks us. I would set the timer for, let's say, 12 minutes
First,
and then you'll check,
turn them.
turn them. You might need another, like,
10 might
minutes.
need another, might be 20 to 30 minutes total,
Yeah.
depending on how thick
Yep.
your pan, how thick your batter is in your pan.
Right.
So this is only
About
an inch thick,
an inch.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna puff up.
Yep.
So probably 2 inches. Yep. All right, here we go.
Do it.
All right. So it's been about, we put them in for 17 minutes. What they look
Gonna
like right
check.
now, we're gonna check.
They look like they're done.
Toothpick test. Whoa.
Oh, not done.
Not done yet.
Yeah. It should be come out cleanly. I'm gonna just put that
Try
right back
again.
there.
Try again in a hole. Turn it upside
Too thick. Okay. And can't really tell, but
That's why I turn it upside down. The point. It's easier to see when. Yeah.
it's still wet.
Yeah. Still wet.
So you can see, still a little wet. So why don't you come out nice and clean?
Okay. They seem to be done
They
now.
are.
Okay. Do you want to do the test?
Yes, let's do it. So they were in the oven. All right, good.
That looks good.
Nice and clean. So
That
for
was about
17, so it was about 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
Yep. So it might be 30 minutes for you. It might be 40 minutes. It depends on how thick your brownies are. But just take a look. Nothing will be, nothing will go wrong if you open up the oven, check it, and let it sit back in there. It's fine.
Pretty
All
cool.
right. So now,
So normally you would let it cool completely at room temperature
Yeah.
before you do this next step, but we're just gonna go for it.
I'm going to show you right now. Why not? Another note about the caramel, as it sits out and it cools, it does get thicker, and you might want to just pop it back in the microwave for 10 seconds just to get it a little bit more drizzleable. That's the word.
Yeah.
So we're just going to drizzle it all on, again, as much or as little as you want. And really, this is fine.
And it also helps stick the salt
Yes,
to the brownie.
exactly.
Because you really want the salted caramel aspect of it. It really goes well with that extra salt.
Yeah.
Yummy.
A little bit more. Go ahead. You can
There's no wrong way to do it,
Mhm.
and you really can't put too much, can you?
Yeah, it really is to taste. So
Yeah.
if you want to add more, you can. It's up to you. If you want to throw on some sprinkles, want to throw on whatever you like, go for it. You're going to enjoy this at home.
This is your brownie delight.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
So,
Cheers!
yeah, we did it.
Salud.
We did it together. Hopefully you had a good time. We might not be the next Food Network star, but we hope we sweetened up your day in your kitchen.
And we want to thank you for joining us and
Yep.
watching.
Yeah, if you want,
You were entertaining.
and if you want to learn more about our business, thevintagecake.com is our website. I'm sure you probably will have questions.
Just email us.
Just email us.
if we can.
Yep, thevintagecake@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram @thevintagecake. And again, we're just happy we're able to share this with you, and hopefully it'll brighten up your day.
And hopefully one day you can come here for a real in-person class.
Yes.
So now that we're finished, we're going to celebrate like true Rutgers alumni know how.
Yeah. So we'll see ya.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day. Take care.
Right.